The stolen reflection, the mirror, presided over the room with a macabre elegance. Its frame, intricately carved, wasn't made of wood or metal, but of polished bones, joined together with a dark, sticky substance that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. Elena, absorbed in her own image, barely noticed the subtle stench of decaying flesh emanating from it. She was young, beautiful, and terribly vain. Every morning, she lost herself for hours in the labyrinth of her reflection, admiring the perfection of her features, the cascade of her hair, the vibrant light in her eyes. Her obsession began to worry her mother. "Elena, daughter, you're wasting your time. There are more important things than your appearance," she said with a voice full of unease. But Elena, deaf to the warnings, took even more refuge in narcissistic contemplation. The mirror had become her silent confidant, her implacable judge, her addiction. One day, she found the mirror in a dusty antique shop. The old man who served her, a thin man with eyes that seemed to hide ancient secrets, warned her, "This mirror has a price. Not everything it reflects is beautiful." Elena, intoxicated by the vision of the bone frame and the dark, shiny surface, ignored the warning. She haggled over the price and took the mirror home, convinced that it was the missing piece to complete her personal sanctuary. At first, everything seemed normal. Elena spent hours in front of the mirror, touching up her makeup, trying on clothes, rehearsing poses. But little by little, she began to notice subtle changes. Her skin, once radiant, seemed to lose its luminosity. Her eyes, which had always shone with a spark of joy, became opaque and empty. She felt inexplicably tired, as if an invisible force was draining her energy. One day, while looking in the mirror, she noticed something unusual. In the reflection, behind her own image, she glimpsed blurry figures, distorted faces that seemed to want to escape from the dark surface. She felt a shiver run down her spine. She tried to focus her gaze, but the figures faded, leaving her with the disturbing feeling that she wasn't alone. From that day on, the visions became more frequent and clearer. She saw pale faces, mute mouths screaming silently, eyes full of despair trapped in the mirror. She tried to ignore them, convincing herself that they were a product of her tired imagination. But fear took hold of her, gnawing at her sanity. One night, while getting ready to go out, she stopped in front of the mirror. The visions were more intense than ever. The faces were staring at her, whispering incomprehensible words. Suddenly, a voice resonated in her head, a hollow, cold voice that seemed to emanate from the mirror itself. "Now you are part of me." Elena screamed and moved, away from the mirror, stumbling and falling to the ground. Her heart was pounding in her chest. She felt a strange pressure on her chest, as if something invisible was squeezing her. She got up shakily and looked back at the mirror. Her reflection was looking at her with a cruel and malevolent smile. Her eyes, once brown, were now black and empty. She tried to speak, but only a choked moan came out. She felt her body go numb, her mind cloud over. Her reflection extended a hand towards her, and Elena felt an invisible force dragging her towards the mirror. She fought with all her might, but it was useless. Her body became heavier and heavier, her will faded. She felt the glacial coldness of the glass against her skin, felt her body merging with the dark surface. Suddenly, everything fell silent. In the room, the mirror continued to shine with a macabre light. On its surface, Elena's reflection had joined the other trapped souls, her face now pale and distorted, her eyes full of the same despair that she had seen in the others. Outside, Elena's mother, worried about her daughter's absence, knocked on the door. Not getting an answer, she opened it and entered the room. Her gaze stopped on the mirror. She saw her own reflection, but she also saw something else, a blurry figure behind her, a familiar face, with black and empty eyes, watching her with a sad smile. The mother screamed and backed away, stumbling and falling to the ground. The mirror watched her silently, waiting for its next victim. The frame of bones seemed to beat harder, fueled by the souls trapped within. The stench of decaying flesh intensified, filling the room with a nauseating aroma. The curse of the soul mirror continued, trapping those who allowed themselves to be seduced by their reflection, stealing their spark of life and condemning them to a ghostly existence inside its dark surface. The mirror kept waiting, patient and silent, for the next vain person who dared to contemplate their own image in its stolen reflection. The cycle of terror would continue, fueled by vanity and obsession, until someone, someday, destroyed the mirror and freed the trapped souls from their eternal prison. But until then, the mirror would remain a gateway to darkness, a macabre reminder that beauty is ephemeral, and that vanity can have a deadly price.